The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
Here we are, everybody. It's a Monday. Players Lounge. Come on in here with us. Yes. Here we are, broadcasting from the Star, headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. The crew is all here today. Danny McCray, what's up? Heckma Harrison is here. Barry Church is here. I am Newey Scruggs, home of a bunch of playoff teams in Dallas, Fort Worth. Mavericks get it done over the weekend. Barry, you got the hat on.
You see up here, you know what I mean?
One of them guys. Now, he do be going to the game, so I'm not even going to play.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll be there.
He's invested in everything except Toledo.
We can't live out here.
Micah Parsons was there. Trayvon Diggs was there.
Yeah, it is.
I went there, and what a comeback by them. Dallas Stars, they get it done on Friday. So the Western Conference Finals for both teams are going to be at American Airlines Center. And then you think about the Rangers won the World Series last year. Cowboys made the playoffs.
Where you going?
Did you see Noah Brown?
Where you going? Where you going?
Okay.
Hey, Noah, man. I got to take it back. All right? Next week we good, Noah.
So, Newey, what you're saying is there's going to be no one left to trauma bond with for Cowboys.
It's over with.
It's almost
At least you put
bonded.
the Cowboys in the playoffs. You did say that. Cowboys in the playoffs.
I mean, look, when you think about three straight years with the Cowboys, 12-win seasons. But the problem, obviously, we know. People are looking at the playoffs. But we do know trying to get there is hard. And in this day and age, the league is designed for you to be able to make it, then not make it. And we see so many teams go from first to last. It's hard. Winning is hard. And I think for me, my appreciation for Mike McCarthy is to keep on winning here. And, you know, you like to break through one day and get past, get further. But I can't complain because I still remember the Campo era. I was here for the 3-5-11 seasons when there was no quarterback. You know, I still have an admiration for that. But I get the fans that want more. I get it. But at the same time, I'm not crazy, which leads us into the first question we talked about here before the show. Who has the most pressure to succeed this year? And these were the nominees. Defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. Defensive tackle Mazi Smith. Quarterback Dak Prescott. Head coach Mike McCarthy. We'll start with you here, Barry Church.
All right, so if we're talking individual success, like just individual career success going forward, I'm going to say Mazi's under the most pressure.
Oh.
If we're talking about individual success about a career going forward, let's look at the other nominees here. Dak Prescott, already one of the highest paid guys in the National Football League.
True.
Second team All-Pro, MVP vote. He's going to get his bread regardless. It ain't like, you know, if he has a bad year this year, he ain't going to play in the league no more.
Yeah.
All right, he's going to have his bread. McCarthy, he's already been to the pinnacle, taking a team to the Super Bowl, taking multiple teams to the playoffs. You just got done talking about 3 12-win seasons. If he doesn't succeed here by going to the playoffs and losing in the first round, I don't think it'll be his last time ever coaching in the National Football League. Yeah. Zimmer, you know, he's in second place right now. Yeah. You know, he went from a head coach, now he's a DC. If he doesn't succeed as a DC, it's going to be tough, but I'm sure he'll get another gig out there. Mazi Smith right now, to me, this is kind of like a make or break year for him. He doesn't want to go down as being one of the few first-round busts that the Cowboys have had in the past decade. I mean, if you look at it from 2010 to now, there's only been really one that we consider a bust, and that was Taco Charlton. Yeah. You don't want to go down that road. And then if you don't succeed this year, you don't put good tape out there, who's going to pick you up? Yeah. So he's fighting for, in my opinion, he's fighting for individually his football career. Now, I'm sure he'll get another chance if he doesn't work out here, but will he be that guy? I'm not so sure. So to me, there's a lot of pressure on Mazi to go out there and succeed. Now, if we're talking about, you know, team success and all that, of course it's going to be Dak Prescott because he's going to have the ball in order for this team to be successful. But individually, I'm leaning towards Mazi Smith on this one.
He pulled a U right there. He pulled a U. He took all the points off the table.
I'm just
right.
saying.
He took all the points off the table. He went straight to who he was. That's you.
He left a couple out there.
Let me see
what y'all got.
You know, I mean, I'm in agreement with you, but I think when it comes down to Mazi, because he was a rookie last season, he still has years to develop into that. I mean, and look, hey, that first year is unforgiving, and people are going to start. If you have another one, you follow that up, they're just going to go ahead and put you in your little bubble, and they're going to call you what you are, right? To me, it's Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, I think last season when the playoffs, that team just did not respond at all, and that's on him. And he's in his last season under contract, and I think that pressure, if the Cowboys get off to, we were already talking about the schedule, and if the Cowboys get off to a rough start, man, the rumors and it's going to start dinging immediately. So the pressure is right there. I think when you talk about Dak, you're right. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to end up on his feet because he's already one of the highest paid quarterbacks. But what does that do for his legacy? I don't know what you guys think about that. But for me, it's Mike McCarthy because I think he's in a situation where, look, even if he starts off hot, finish 12-5 again. All right, finish 12-5 again, and you get destroyed in the playoffs. That's it.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. He can't afford to have the same type of season. Matter of fact, he's going to have to push this team even further, and that's why I feel like the pressure on him to succeed is even more because he can't just do first round of the playoffs. He has to push this team further in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't agree with either one of y'all.
Okay, good deal.
I'm going Dak, Dakota Prescott.
Young Ray.
I think at this point we're sitting here, we're waiting for Dak to get paid, right? For the second time, it seems like you're going through this process of, hey, man, prove it to us and let us know if you can really get us there. Like, we believe in you. We're going to keep telling people we believe in you. We really got all that. But we haven't seen you get us to where we want to go. You've gotten us pretty much to where every other quarterback, well, Tony Romo and all, like, you've gotten us there. I think the pressure is on you now to show us that you are really that quarterback who can get us out of the first round. If we could put it on Mike McCarthy as much as we want to, Dak Prescott has had a few different head coaches now, and he still hasn't gotten to that point to where we say, hey, man, NFC championship, headed to the Super Bowl. But we've had rosters with Dak Prescott on there where you say you one of the highest paid guys, MVP type seasons, and then you look in the playoffs and you see that production doesn't translate from the regular season into the playoffs. So I'm looking at it, I'm saying, hey, man, they paid the guys around you. Said we got Zeke around you. Tony Pollard last year, brought in Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb there, drafted guy in the first round. Like, you brought all these weapons in, and we still haven't gotten it done. Okay. So at one point it's like, hey, man,
it's on you.
Now we gonna take. Now you have to do more with a little less than you had before, and we need you to show us that you can do that. I think the pressure is on Dak Prescott. Not that he won't land on his feet, but as far as his tenure here in Dallas and then moving forward, the legacy that you will have as one of the Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks, will it be that same thing that they talk about Romo of like, yeah, Romo's a great quarterback, but I mean, Dak Prescott is headed for that if he doesn't figure out a way to get it done in the playoffs.
What did he win?
Yeah,
like, they look at Romo and what have he won? I hear your initial thought because to me, I would say if we asked this question last year, the player with the most pressure to succeed was going to be Dak Prescott because he led the league in interceptions and a whole lot of people are like, hey, what is this guy? He goes on to lead the league in touchdown passes, finished second team All-Pro. Whether Jerry brings him back or not, Dak Prescott is going to be a highly paid quarterback and somebody's going to want him in this league. With all due respect to Jared Goff, you couldn't have told me when the Rams moved off him, won a Super Bowl, that he would be in a position to where he was making the kind of money that he just got today.
Absolutely.
So for quarterbacks, man, in this league where they're starved, Dak Prescott is going to hit his agent, and Dak should rest easy. They're going to get their money. Whether it's here or somewhere else, a bag is coming. He's got another 3, 4, 5 years left to play in this league. Mazi Smith is fine because he's a second-year player. They're not going to cut him even if he has a bad year. They made the investment. They're going to stick with it.
Coming off an injury, too.
Tom Landry had a great line, and Bill Parcells echoed. He says, you know what? By year 3, we got to see something. So Mazi Smith is going to get at least 3 years with the Cowboys to show he can do something before they just move off of him. Mike Zimmer, 1-year deal. Right now, if we're just being honest, the Carpenter's tools are not what he's used to. So if it goes good for Mike, great. If it doesn't, I don't think we can look at him and say, hey, man, you booty. You're not good. McCarthy, I look at Mike and I just say, you're in a kind of tough position. You know, did they go all in like they said? No. But you're going to get the blame no matter what. It's what I watched with Jason Kidd all first part of the season with the Mavericks. When they lost, it was him. Rotations are bad. This and that. They won game 6. You know, ain't nobody credited him. They got nothing. Got nothing. I just laughed at that. I'm like, wait a minute. This man's team came 17 down, the guts, everything. Ain't got nothing to say. But Luka, Kyrie, and the players do it. But Mike is in that situation that, hey, man, you going to walk the plank.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't your fault. I do agree with what you said. Because he's won a Super Bowl, because of what he's done here, a smart NFL team should pick him up. But then again, we just watch a dude who won 6 Super Bowls go through a whole offseason cycle where people ran his name down. So Mike could even be in that situation. If this team wins, let's say 10 games, and they don't make the playoffs, people are going to look at him, this, that, and the other. This league can be unkind to coaches, man. So to me, when I think of who's got the most pressure, it's Mike, because some of this stuff is so out of your control. Yeah. Some of the stuff that you'd like to see him do, I mean, like, think about your quarterback who in the first year of the system you're running as the offensive coordinator is second team All-Pro. CeeDee Lamb, best year he's ever had. Wow. Tony Pollard didn't have the year you thought he did, but I think, for 7th or 8th in rushing?
Exactly.
And they sitting around here, hey, man, you are on the hot seat.
Yeah. There you go. He was on the hot seat last season, before the season.
For those reasons, that's why the same way that y'all feel about Dak getting another job after this, like he gonna be fine. I'm looking at Mike McCarthy saying, listen, his is the same way, 3 12-5 seasons, and you just said it. Everybody else from the outside knows, just like we know, all in didn't mean all in like we thought it was going to be. So, I don't know. I think Mike McCarthy will be okay. I think he will.
You couldn't have told me Belichick wasn't going to get a job. Especially when I thought the couple interviews he had with Atlanta. I'm like, this about to happen. I don't know, man. I thought Quinn, I mean, you know me, I thought Quinn was going to be gone a couple seasons ago. I thought he was going to get a different job.
You trying to push him out.
I mean,
but the success that he was having would have told you that he was going to get a DC job, a head coaching job somewhere early.
These owners are different, man. I don't know. I don't know about these owners, man. So I look at Mike and I just, somebody's going to look at all the success and we want the new hot coordinator, whatever. And this was Mike last year calling the plays, getting back to doing what he's doing. And they were sensational. And what does the owner say? Play it out. Play your contract out.
Play it out, player.
Right. It's kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of wild to think about. So that's why, for me, I think he's got that most pressure because so much of this is not in your grasp.
But would y'all extended him, though?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Would y'all have extended him,
At the end of the season, we sound totally different.
Exactly.
It's not wild to me because at the end of the season, we say, hey, man, next year going into it, they go 12-5. Only thing that's going to matter is what they did in the playoffs. Right? At the end of the season, we're like, all right, they went 12-5 and what?
Yeah, that's it.
So for us, it's like I don't think it's that crazy for him to be having to play it out to figure out if you go 12-5, is there any opportunity for success in the playoffs?
So I say that from the standpoint, and I go back to like Dak. Anywhere else, they're grateful for what the coach did. Boom, here's another card. You're grateful for what your quarterback did, and you go ahead and you take care of it. And here it's like, that's, to me, that's wild because, I mean, think like Jared Goff. Nice season, not better than Dak's. Here you go.
Right.
Big old check. Take it, player.
Man, I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad you're back. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thank you.
Because it comes down, are you getting paid for regular season or are you getting paid for your postseason success? So, in Dak Prescott, we all understand he had an amazing regular season, second in MVP. But if you look at his two past postseasons, the past two, what is it, combined 5 interceptions?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's the reason they're losing, but he's a part of it. He's a part of it.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And if you look on the other end with golf, he had some success in the regular season, but when the postseason came around, I mean, he was hitting on all cylinders. They should have won that game in San Francisco. They should have won that.
That's where you look at
coaches and drop passes. That's what it came down to me. So,
but even when he was in LA, he had one of the best running backs. He had him in his prime. He had one of the best. Yeah. Come on, man. He had Gurley. No. Listen, let's go back. You're right. No. You're right. You're right. I'm saying, but they went to a Super Bowl with that, and they had a defense. They had a defense that was
they were good. They were really
one of the best defensive linemen to play in the game. So come on, let's get.
Now hold on, okay, because Week 5, historic defense came out of your mouth.
Did I say historic?
You said, yes.
Did I say historic?
You said historic.
I don't think
And
historic.
like,
I don't think historic was the.
Did he say
The
historic?
bazooka? No. I don't
It's on
think I
tape.
used the word historic.
You said
and I know
historic.
you're gonna go back. I don't think I said
promise
use
you
the
said
word
historic.
historic.
I know I said it for sure. I know I said it.
Y'all was over here throwing historic
I
out
said it for
after the
sure.
first few games,
But the
and I was
question
like,
is
they
this:
playing the
Here it
Jets.
is, Dan. How many? If you take all the teams in the NFL, how many of them would like to have 3, 12, and 5 seasons? That's everybody, right? And so if we're gonna judge Mike McCarthy and Dak together based off of their playoff performances over these last couple of years, you're not satisfied with that. And so either way it goes this season, it's not going to be just getting to the playoffs for Mike McCarthy or Dak. And I understand that. Regardless if it's historic defense, offense, whatever it is, you're going to have to get to the NFC Championship. You're going to have to get to the Super Bowl. If you're Dak, we talk about legacy and all that. Dak, you got to go win it. At this point, nobody wants to hear, it's 12-5. You got an MVP vote. You're all pro. That's just business as usual around here if you don't win it.
If Dak Prescott gets to the NFC Championship, he's good. Yeah. Like all the noise is gone. So I think that's what we're talking about with Jared Goff. Jared Goff had Ty Gurley, who was Cooper Kupp at that time.
I don't even think Cooper Kupp was there.
So we like they were running a good offense. They had
Brandon Cook.
Brandon Cook.
Young Cooks.
and so top running back, Dak Prescott has had an opportunity to have top running back, top receiver, CeeDee Lamb. So when you're looking at it as far as what we're doing in the playoffs, Jared Goff has had more success, especially when you look at why he got paid in a city like Detroit, where who the hell were the Lions 3 years ago? Yeah. And they brought Jared Goff in, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's over for them." Yeah, it's Jared Goff, and all he did was prove that he is a top-notch quarterback. Went to the NFC Championship. Should have beat us here. I don't know about generational.
That's what I said. Generational defense.
Historic. I find it funny.
All right. So let me go back. I'm going to hit on Danny. Danny, I want to hit your point. Then Barry, I want to hit your point. Yes, what Detroit has done, one, they built an offensive line. Big time. Because we know that in the past, what's the way to get Jared Goff? Put pressure up the middle. He doesn't like to get hit. So they've given him a tremendous offensive line. And then they've said, we are going to be a running football team. They're a running football team. You got a really good weapon in Amon-Ra St. Brown. So they have made sure, hey, how do we complement our quarterback? We're not asking our quarterback to go win the game the way McVay didn't feel he could, so he brought in Stafford. Your point on terms of what do you pay a guy for, regular season or playoffs? In a lot of ways, it's both, but you got to have the regular season to sit up here and say it's worthy. Lamar Jackson's 2-4 in the playoffs. Dak is 2-5. Both of these guys have got some type of thing going on here in the playoffs where you're like, hey, bro, this isn't what we're doing. Peyton Manning was 0-5 or 0-6 his first couple times in the playoffs. But you saw he was winning 13 games a year, and the Colts were making the playoffs. So this other thing about can you figure this thing out? You want to. Barry Bonds went through it. Alex Rodriguez went through it. We've seen some players, high-level players, Hall of Famers, who struggled a little bit to get it done. Peyton Manning eventually got there. And even his last Super Bowl run, it wasn't because of him. That's the Denver defense. It was Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware and everybody else. So he helped out a little bit, but this was not the sheriff running things. So I say that to go back to you. I'm going to pay a guy based off the regular season and then the playoff. You hope, but it doesn't matter because in the age of quarterbacks right now, we know it's all Beverly Hills. And the prices don't go down. It is what it is. And the guy, to me, you look back at last year, man, you led league interceptions, man, you shaky, what's going on? The dude in the first year offense with Mike McCarthy did his job. Yep. So I'm going to pay him based on that. But I do think with Goff, he's done a nice job. But please, let's remember, they've added stuff around him. And he's done his part. And in the playoffs, man, the dude performed. He performed. But it's still the same dude that Sean McVay said, man, get off my boat.
Like, I don't like, we didn't add things around Dak. Like, I'm confused. Like, when we talk about offensive line, we've added, like, he had Zach Martin there, Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Terrence Steele, when everybody was like, you got to pay Terrence. Like, they would say, hey, man, we're going to make sure that we give you everything you need to be a good quarterback,
You're
just
correct,
like they did Jared Goff.
Because to me, they're the same guy. I put them in that same box of player.
Yeah.
I put that, here's a Mahomes in a whole separate category. Where this dude, he out here winning with dudes like, really? That guy, you throw Tyreek Hill off the boat, he's still out here getting.
You can't even use him.
He's an elite guy, an elite guy. And Rick Gosling used to talk to me about that. He's like, hey, look, can the quarterback keep winning no matter what you got around him because he's that good and he makes other people better? And that next tier of guy is is, in my opinion, a Goff. It is a Dak where, hey, man, we got to help him out. Yeah. He's not going to be the guy that we're asking, hey, man, go throw this thing 40 times. Or we're down 10 in the fourth quarter. Come on, bring us back like a Tom Brady's doing. And that's not a slam on anybody. Elite is elite, and there ain't many elites in anything. But can they win you games? They can win you games. And I think Jordan Love, we're seeing another guy like that, man, who's going to be coming along here. It's a challenge, but it doesn't matter because the agents are coming here saying this quarterback has this numbers, he's that pay my guy. And teams don't want to let him go. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, you're looking at these guys, and by the way, I think Burrow's the same kind of guy.
Exactly.
I think he's an elite player. I think he's an elite player. We've seen him. You take the Bengals to the Super Bowl, and you got a chance to win it on the final drive.
That O-line?
That terrible offensive line. You know, nobody even tried to hold Aaron Donald. Do something.
Right.
Trip him or something. Right. Grab him in close. Do something. Don't let him just run by. But there's not many of those elite guys. But if you're Jerry, we've seen what happened if you don't even have a guy like a Dak, man. You could be up there with Chad Hutchinson and Quincy Carter and wandering the desert.
We were there that year. We ain't have a queue. We was 4-12.
Listen, this is last thing I want to say about Goff. The last thing I want to say about Goff before he starts saying that's my boy.
I do be throwing shots at Castle.
I want to say probably was the last drive of the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
They put it in Goff's hands and they said, we need you to go down there and get us some points. And Jared Goff,
he did.
opposite of what you would expect him to be is, hey, man, it's on me. Went down there and made every play they need to play. And then it was on the coach, and the coach messed it up. So when we talk about, hey, man, how do you perform in those playoff games? Can you go win a game for us? Not as elite as Patrick Mahomes. But when you say, hey, man, it's on you. We need you to go win. Against us? Yes. Against them?
He did his part. He did his part.
Yeah, his part was to, hey, man, it's on you. That was his part, not just go run the ball. It was, hey, Jared Goff, it's on you.
And, oh, by the way, let us remember, this guy was the first overall pick in the draft coming out of Cal, coached by Sonny Dykes. So we're not talking about some Rudy Poo bum off the street.
It sounded like that. It sounded like
that
at the beginning of this.
But that's where
he had everything.
He got kicked off that boat.
See?
He got kicked off. That's your man. That's your man.
He did. I mean, but heck, man, his own head coach
kicked him off.
Not only kick him up, hey, man, we about to pay this big old note.
Yeah.
We know we up the creek and paying this. We got to get this guy out of here.
How many elite quarterbacks?
They won a Super Bowl without him.
How many elite quarterbacks get traded in their prime?
No.
It's rare. Who are number one overall picks? It's rare, but
ain't happening.
I think Brad
That's
Holmes,
your man.
the GM of the Detroit Lions, Brad Holmes is exceptional.
Last year.
No, he did a heck of a job.
I think Brad Holmes is exceptional, and he looked at this is what the player is. How do I help insinuate play? All right, we're late to our break. Let's get our first break in here. When we come back, any moves to make come June 1, let's dive into that and the schedule. Do that next right here, Players Lounge on DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
There is no I in Dallas. There is no I in Hart either. No I in Blue Star or in Lone Star for that matter. And there's no I in how about them Cowboys? Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks, home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together because there's definitely no I in Cowboys fans. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Enjoy excellent dining, boutique shopping, and exciting events in the Star District in Frisco, featuring dozens of North Texas' best restaurants and shops, plus a calendar full of family-friendly events. There's always something to do, to shop and dine and do in the Star District. Visit thestardistrict.com for more information.
Thank you, Heckma Harrison. The Players Lounge brought to you by
Us.
For us by.
Boo-boo.
It is, Joe.
Barry Church is here. Heckma Harrison, Danny McCray, I am Newey Scruggs. Okay, so that was a fun conversation on who has the most pressure to succeed and just taking that in there. June 1st, that is when a lot of cuts are going to happen. People already know what's coming down there. The question was asked, any moves to make?
It's always a move to make for us. I think maybe all in is post June 1st.
But why do they always do that though? But why do the Cowboys always do, like? I don't know.
Because it's about money. Money. If you don't have the money.
Well, I don't even know. We probably can't mention names.
No.
But I think the smart thing for us to do is you still got to be out there looking for a 3 technique or a nose guard. You have to, because as much as we hearing that they said they putting all this on Mazi Smith and how last year was a different year with a different scheme and he'll be better this year, he's not going to be at OTAs. He may not be fully ready for training camp. So you looking at a guy coming off the season that he had last year, possibly putting on a lot of weight, going out there having to get in shape, and then also test that shoulder out as well. And you want him to be an impact player for you. You have to get some more depth at the interior line, but you need a difference maker there. Yeah. You need one. And I know Zimmer is looking in there and talking to Will McClay and all of them saying, hey, man, listen, I may not get all my pieces, all right, but I like to play big guys up front. I like my linebackers to really be impactful on my defense. So I need y'all to figure out how we can get beef inside on the interior line.
Whoa.
That's a pause. I couldn't even get it out. Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Hey, look at it.
All right.
The guidelines.
Where's the beef? All right. So
Wendy's.
My thing is this.
Are you
I'm with you.
Mazi Smith for Wendy's. Where's the beef?
I'm on the same page with you, and it's gonna come. Like for me, I know we're waiting on what cuts and all of that, but I'm still on the Dak train on what we're gonna do with this contract. After that, because again, I think everything is predicated on what you do with that contract, because he's Pac-Manning your salary cap right now. And to be able to bring in someone that is going to have some impact or influence on your defensive line, we're missing more than just that one guy. Think about it. Dorrance Armstrong also left. So those are those rotational pieces that you're used to having on that front line that Mike Zimmer's not going to have that. So, I mean, right now as it stands, you got Carl Davis Jr., a bunch of other names that rookies and guys that you don't know what they're going to bring to the table. So, I mean, with all of the exodus of the players that we lost, I'm still right there June 1st. I'm saying, look, we got to bring in some guys up front.
No doubt. And I agree with all when you talk about the front defensive line getting that together. But when you talk about all the holes missing, that's why I said it's going to be the rebuild. That's why I said it from the beginning. This is going to be the rebuild. But when you talk about adding pieces on there, which I want to D-line, but for me also, I'm looking at receiver too. Because to me, Cooks, he's a good piece, but he's getting up there in age. And we see they don't really use him as that speed demon taker off the top that we thought he was going to come in here and be. You're looking at a guy, Tolbert, I believe. No, not Tolbert. Was it Tolbert?
Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert. Can he take that jump? Can he be that guy? Because right now, you got Ferguson and you got CeeDee Lamb as your proven weapons on the outside. Ferguson, I believe, is a top 10 tight end. The guy's, he's a beast. After the catch, all that good stuff. But if you got a defense that's like, look, we're taking CeeDee away. We doubled it. We putting all the resources on CeeDee. You think, outside of Ferg, these other guys can continuously beat those one-on-ones. They haven't proven it yet. No. And we already know about this run game. So it's going to come down to Dak and his arm and his ability to stretch the field. And with the weapons they have right now, man, I just don't see it being a productive passing unit out there unless you have great balance. And we've seen this team does not really believe in that balance, especially when it comes late in the year.
I go back to Mike Zimmer and what we've talked about before. The carpenter needs his tools. So they've got to go bargain basement shopping here and try to find some guys who look at themselves post-June cut. I need a job.
Yeah.
And this defense can help me get, what I need. So I look at that. And then as far as a receiver goes, I thought Zay Jones could have fit. He did not.
I thought he was here.
That's what I'm saying.
He came through. Yeah, he came
Did that happen to us last year? Which worked out for us. Linebacker came through here and then went to Philly.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Zay was balling on it.
So that's that thing there. Just what pieces can you find here, and maybe they can get one contract locked up here soon, and be able to find some more money other places. But clearly, that's what they got to do. They're going to go bargain shopping and try to find some pieces that make them work. It's not crazy in terms of being able to go find some pieces. I thought they did that a couple times when Dan Quinn was here. Found a couple
Dante Fowler's of the world. Yeah.
Players that fit what they needed to do. And one thing we know, there are other teams in this league who are going to have to trim some fat. They got some contracts they're going to let go. So there'll be some good players out there. It's just a matter of how they talk to the players, what kind of contract they can set up here. But I do think the Cowboys should be busy after June 1st and trying to find some guys that fit, especially for Zimmer's defense, number one, and then maybe a couple of additions.
And look, I could be way off with this, and so tell me if I'm wrong. But what is the philosophy behind waiting to pay your guys that are gonna why kick the can down the road? And now we're in a situation where you gotta pay Dak, you got CD coming up, you got Parsons, and you don't have the space to go out there and get some guys early on in free agency, which leads you to, hey, I got to hit these bargains. Yeah. I mean, B. Carr maybe was the last time they went out there and grabbed, a top free agent guy.
Yeah, it's becoming to be one of those things where you don't even pander to the fan base on it. Everybody went off of all in to think that free agency, you were going to go out there and go after the top-notch free agents, and then once that ended, everybody's like, well, what are we doing? We're not even signing the guys that we need to sign in order to show up and sign a CeeDee Lamb. That contract is, if you're kicking that one down the road, he has another successful season. Both of those contracts are going to be high. And then you have Michael Parsons coming behind that. So, look, there's a litany of problems that are coming for the Cowboys, and you're just asking yourself, what is the philosophy of the front office, and how is this going to pay off in the end? Because you can't. I don't think the TV rights deal is going to be that high where you can have 5 or 6 guys on your team being paid max and altering the salary cap. So this is going to be interesting, and I think June 1st has a lot to do with, man, do you get that? When can you get Dak's deal done? Because you can't do anything else after.
I think
until you get that done.
Yeah. Church, question for you on that one: If Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys last playoffs had won a couple playoff games, maybe went to the NFC Championship, is Dak Prescott paid already?
I believe so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is the holdup based on the performance of last year? So then you have to say, okay, are you sure? Because they're saying, hey man, this is number one priority. We got to get this done. Well, if you believe that it would have been done had he had success last year, then how can it actually be the number one priority? Because if it was, you would have just done it anyways. Yeah. That wouldn't even be the question. So, are you thinking, hey, maybe because if they don't, end up paying him and he has to play this year out, then that gives you your answer for pretty much everything. Of like, all right, well, this.
How do you approach that, though?
I don't know.
How do you approach that if they don't do it before June 1st or whenever they have the timeline to do it and he has to play it out? Then he walks and you get nothing.
Yeah, you get nothing in return.
You get nothing in return. And what's the?
Listen, we've been watching teams, especially over the last couple of years. They've been. Russell Wilson, take it.
Hey, that's just wild,
they just giving it away. So I don't know, man. It's confusing. So that's why we got to sit here and speculate. But
exactly, it is confusing. Let's get our final break in here. Let's dive into the schedule a little bit. I've got some thoughts about the first 6 games that the Cowboys are going to play. We'll do that next with Barry Church, Heckman Harrison, Danny McCraven, New East Coast Players Lounge, right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. Hashtag be your own boss.
Hi, I'm Danny McCray, Dallas Cowboys alumni player here with Smoothie King. And Smoothie King wants to ask you, what's that sound? That's the sound of us magically transforming our smoothie bowls into 2 new decadent flavors. Dig into a cool acai or pitaya bowl, handcrafted with crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, fresh strawberries, and finished with a velvety chocolate hazelnut drizzle. Perfect for breakfast, lunch, or anytime you want to munch. And that's the sound of you making them disappear. Smoothie bowls, now in 2 new decadent flavors. Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The schedule is set, and limited tickets for the 2024 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rival Blue Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Saints, Ravens, Lions, Texans, Bengals, and Bucks. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official provider for tickets for the Dallas Cowboys.
He's so smooth with the read. Look at him. He just ad-libbing everything.
I can't wait till Young Heck.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait till Young Heck.
Oh, wait. Hey, yeah, we got youth camps. What's today? It's the 20, man. Early bird pricing ended on 17, so sorry. It went up $25, but they just about sold out. And usually when I say it's sold out, they be sold out, man. So when you looking for somewhere to get your kid in for the summer, go ahead and sign them up for,
it's worth it, y'all.
DallasCowboys.com/youth camps. We'll be there.
So you think about the quarterbacks on the regular season schedule here. Derek Carr, former Pro Bowler, coming in with the Saints. 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson coming in with the Ravens. Super Bowl quarterback Jared Goff coming in with Detroit. The Eagles have former Super Bowler Jalen Hurts. Houston brings in the electric Stroud, who was sensational last year, Rookie of the Year. The Giants, by November, who knows? But it can be Daniel Jones.
Malik News.
Hey, your LSU brethren.
The Bengals bring in former Super Bowl quarterback Joe Burrow. Baker Mayfield made the Pro Bowl last year, took Tampa to the playoffs, comes here. And then, of course, rookie sensation from Washington, Daniels, LSU with Washington. So some quarterbacks are coming here. Let's dive into the schedule right here on the Players Lounge here. Final segment with Barry Church, Heckman Harrison, Danny McCray, Newey Scruggs. For me, I look at the first 6 games and I say they're tough because there are 4 playoff teams. Only one team is going to be in the NFC East to start this thing. So you're at Cleveland, home against the Saints, home against the Ravens. So that Ravens game is Sunday the 22nd. Then you got a Thursday game that you got to go to Jersey to face the Giants on. Then you're at Pittsburgh October 6th. Then it's a October 13th game at home against the Detroit Lions. So at least you got a lot of days after the Giant game to get ready to go face the Steelers in Pittsburgh. But I look at these games here, the first 6, and I just say, okay, man, this is a challenge.
Oh yeah.
You want to put something on that? Or?
No, I'm just made.
No, you don't want to put your numbers on there just early. No,
I'm not. I'm just.
You got a pen over there. Oh, you don't have your pencil. That's why.
No, you ain't gonna do that. You know he ain't gonna do that. You ain't got the eraser on it. Oh, that's the first. That's the first set of books. That's the first set of books right there. You don't have a second set with him today.
I got my pencil.
I'm closing.
It don't work. You got to put white out on it.
Close up my book right now. I'm just trying to merely talk.
Oh, you gonna close the book up?
Closing it.
Oh, wow.
I'm just trying to bring a discussion.
You got two phones.
I got to get slugs.
And 2 books.
Bring your pencil next week.
I got a pencil in the bag, but no, I'm not trying to do that.
Okay.
I'm just merely giving an opinion about these first 6 games that I think will be tough because you got 4 playoff teams. Only one of them is in the division. And when you get that team, you get them after the Ravens. And we know the Ravens are a physical football team, and just how do you respond that next week, especially short week after you go through a potential battle with the Ravens.
I would like to do this here and say I'm not sure about the Cleveland Browns. I know it's on paper it's supposed to be a tough matchup. Not sure about Nick Chubb. We Deshaun Watson again?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Because Joe Flacco is the one who came in and got them dudes rolling last year. So I don't know. Cleveland looking at it, and they still trying to figure some things out. So I think we'll both be trying to figure stuff out up there at Cleveland. I know Derek Carr is, Derek Carr, but I mean, we watched the Saints play last season. It didn't really look good. I don't know what big time moves they made, in the offseason, but Derek Carr is still their quarterback. So I think once you get to the Ravens, that's when you start. Because they're going to test us in the run game. The Giants are the Giants. We know Pittsburgh is going to be a tough matchup, and then the Lions. So I think that Ravens game, that Steelers game, and that Detroit Lions game, I think those are 3 where you're like, ugh. I don't know.
So much of those 6 games, to me, I think exposes who you are in your front, your defense and offensive front. You're going to find out about your left tackle right off the bat.
You ain't lying.
You're going to find out about a bunch of these guys right off the bat. And same when you go over to New Orleans, but specifically Baltimore and Detroit. I mean, those 6 games again, it can go different ways. You could start off 2-4, which at that point, obviously some of the things that we were already talking about, who's under pressure, those things will start to raise their head, and you'll start to see that right off the bat, right before the bye week anyway. And you have the San Francisco 49ers right behind that. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. And I think what you talked about last show, as far as the defensive line, the running games of these 6 teams.
It's crazy.
You got a running game for these 6 teams. So what has been our Achilles heel throughout the season? It's been the running game. And if you are exposed in that way with their first-year defensive coordinator, I think, man, those are just swords that's just going to continue to open itself up over the season, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, heck, I mean, your left tackle is going to have either great confidence for the rest of the season because he played, good against a T.J. Watt and, a Miles Garrett. Like, he's either going to have great confidence or they're going to have to bring him up because,
the Giants got some dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got some Thibodeau, those guys. So he's either going to be confidence low or really high. And then right after the bye, San Francisco. So
Hutchinson to Detroit.
Exactly. Them boy, he gonna have a test.
Cleveland is going to run on them, whether it's Nick Chubb or somebody else. We know
Stefanski is going to run.
He's going to run. And then you talk about the other side of it. What is your offensive line like? And yes, we talk about the left tackle, but go back into you're potentially going to have a rookie center. So it's going to be
possibly BB. Sorry.
Cleveland is. This is a tough matchup here, and I would say right now, just based on what we know. Before there are more additions made, and then of course everything happens about what happens come training camp, who's healthy and ready to go. But right now, I would say Cleveland should be favored in that football game.
I agree with you.
That they should be favored in that football game. Not that the Cowboys can't win it, but just based on what we know right now, yeah,
it's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be tough. So these first 6 games, I mean, when you talk about this, you mentioned it all: run game, your left tackle. There's question marks here, and that's why I look at these first 6 and just say, man, it's going to be a challenge to see exactly what they do. And this comes in about how good Mike McCarthy and Coach Solari is with the offensive line, how he can get these guys rolling. Can Zimmer get enough of the pieces that he needs to get this thing going? So there's just still question marks out here, which is why I didn't really write anything down because I'm like, man, let me see what you have because that so much of that to me is going to be, hey, man, who can you get off these cheaper free agents? Who can you plug in and see? Not that it can't happen. So I don't want to be negative and just say it can't happen. Yeah. We just know there's some work to do. And Will McClay has traditionally been able to find one or two guys, and you say, oh, man, I didn't know that guy could help and do this. They got to go find some dudes.
And that's why Dak and CD have to hit the ground running, and him not being in camp is so important as well. If he doesn't show up for to the first week of the season, how much of an impact is that going to have on the synergy between those two guys and going through those tough games where you know the defense is going to be all over them? Yeah, I mean, you got to feel a little bit better. No, I don't. I'm not going to lie. It's just I was going to say about the running back room. I just feel like, look, you're going to have to have. I ain't going to lie to the people. You're going to have your running game going to impact those 6 games to have a chance. I was about to lie, BC. I had to stop myself. Good do it.
Let's end it there, bro. Let's just end it right there before we go down this road.
On Limke,
Limke, baby. Hunter Limke. Watch.
Oh!
Deuce Vaughn.
Get him out of there.
Barry Church, thank you. Heckma Harrison, that was fun. Danny McCray, appreciate you. I'm Louis Scruggs for Chris Beam, Joshy, everybody helps make this happen. Louis Scruggs Players Lounge will chat with you next Monday right here. Oh, it's Monday, Memorial Day, next Monday? Okay, so we won't.
We probably nothing.
We will not be here. We'll try to get something later on. All right, that's Players Lounge brought to you by
us.
We'll see who us. The four big old Negroes. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,